Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Being ridiculously good at providing VA services means that you become known for being the go-to person for your clients. In this episode, we're going to talk about some in-demand services that clients are seeking and how you can stand out from the crowd by providing these exceptionally well for them. Today's quote is from Richard Branson of Virgin Enterprises, I guess. If you want to stand out from the crowd, give people a reason not to forget you. And I love this quote. Standing out is often something that VAs shy away from, but I'm not talking about standing out on a street corner, passing out flyers, or starting to use TikTok to market your business. Standing out to me means being memorable, being someone that your clients will talk to others about, giving them a reason to talk about you, and you're going to create a reputation that is in demand. So let's get started. In today's episode, we're talking about what you can do for your clients that is in demand so that you can also be in demand as a VA. Kind of, a double-sided coin. The services themselves are in demand, but by you offering them and doing them exceptionally well, you also will be an in-demand VA. You like it? I like it. Ideally, we want to have a few great clients to work with, right? And do what we love and not really have to be looking for new clients every time we turn around. At least that was the way it was for me. I had a really great group of clients who all needed specialty services. They were all growing their businesses, whose work I was very proud to do and capable, of course, who pushed me to learn new things as they learned them, and also who referred me to their friends who also needed similar kinds of support. I did that by deciding what services I wanted to provide for them, charging appropriately for it, and then knocking it out of the park when I produced their work. That's the really important part. It's not just being capable, it's being exceptional, as I've already said. There are a lot of things you can do for clients that I would consider in demand. And what does in demand really mean? It means that the clients need you. These aren't the clients who are learning as they go. These are the clients that have a vision of where they want their business to go and who are actively taking the steps to get there. This is the first part of providing that in-demand service, that the clients actually want you to do it. So just start there. Here are 5 services that I would consider to be in demand, and each of them in themselves, are huge. They're very vast topics, and each of them has a lot of different branches, which means that you can choose to do whatever it is that you want to do. Decide to provide the service for your clients that you're best at, that you really enjoy doing. We call it loving what you do, right? So I've got 5 services for you today. There are many, many different in-demand services, but I choose to sort of settle on these 5 just for the sake of brevity in our podcast episode. General admin. Now, being general admin as a VA gets a bad rap. I think it does anyway. People think it's where you start off with and you need to grow out of it. But think about it. How many business owners are there in the world? Lots. And lots and lots. Why did they start a business? They started a business because they have some kind of talent or product or service that their clients need or that their clients want. Same as us, right? The thing or the service that they're selling is the most important part of their business. It's their thing, right? It's the thing that generates revenue for them. It's very, very important. But to keep their business in business, they have to do all the other things that need to get done when you run a business. And those things are not usually in their wheelhouse or their scope of talent or ability. And that's where we as VAs come in. Every single business owner needs general admin support, especially if they aren't very good at it. If you've ever heard me speak before, you will have heard me say this because I say it all the time. General admin is not a lower level service for clients. It's actually a very, very important service, and sometimes the most important service that clients will retain support for or hire a VA for. So to me, it's really in demand, and I always put it first in my list. Other people who talk about in demand services sometimes bury it down at 4 or 5 or 8 out of 10 or whatever it is. And for me, it always comes number one. No, one of the reasons is obviously the number of business owners that need it, but also because the vast majority of the number of VAs that I talk to and that I'm in connection with and that I see online or in person, that is the service that they're offering. And so although it might seem that the industries that our industry is saturated with social media people, you're seeing them on social media, so that's why you think that. But I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, general admin is the number one service. If you are providing general admin, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything a client needs, though. It's really important. Like I told you earlier, I have 5 vast topics to talk about today, and they all have a lot of different components to them. And you still can choose what you want to do inside of that title or that service offering of general admin. You can still suggest that they get different people to help with certain things if you don't like doing them. Things that maybe are outside of the scope of your expertise, or things that you just don't like to do. I always used to have, I worked with marketing with my clients, and I also provided client care. And lots of times we would graduate me out of client care and we would bring in somebody else to do it, simply because that was not something that I needed to focus on. I wanted to be able to work on things like launches and marketing and virtual events and all that type of thing. And you can totally do that too. And you're still providing administrative services to them, but you're doing exactly what you want to do. Only do what you love. You love scheduling and email, managing their CRM, doing the research, doing the bookkeeping, lead management or lead follow-up, business documentation. Trust me, there are other VAs that will love to provide support for the other stuff. Now, of course, the other piece is you can grow your business and you can bring on subcontractors to handle some of the other things, that particular tasks that you don't like doing, and you can still retain your level of being in demand, that's for sure. So general admin, always my number one. Number two is online or digital marketing. I'll age myself by saying when I started doing this, we called it internet marketing. And it just makes me laugh to hear online digital. There's so many names for it that I always try to mention them. But I'll tell you one thing, if the last 3 years has taught us anything, it's that online marketing is very important for every business. Lots of people did not have anybody walking through their doors, and they weren't able to market to people the way they used to, and had to make that change. Never mind the boom of Zoom, right? But this could mean an email list, affiliate marketing, content marketing, or just a social media presence. There are an awful lot of facets to digital marketing. You need to figure out what you love to do and then create services around that. I'll give you an example. I always used to provide email marketing services to my clients. One of the reasons that I did that was that it meant ongoing work for me. If they were doing a newsletter or email blasts or broadcasts or anything like that, then that meant I was the one to do them. And every time they needed something like that, it came to me. I wasn't doing a monthly newsletter for them. I was doing regular work, and it gave me more work. It's made me more in demand, right? Because they just had to write something and send it. They didn't have to worry about it. I took care of all of the email marketing, autoresponders for lead generation, and all of those kinds of things. It sometimes is out of the scope of our clients. They don't like to do it. They don't want to learn how to do it. And so therefore that is what we do, looking for the ongoing work all the time. When you are looking to become an in-demand VA, you do have to work with your clients regularly. You're not that websites and blogs are not a good service to provide to people, or I shouldn't say blogs, but websites, but they are a project, right? They have a start and they have a finish, and sometimes the clients don't need you again after that. But for me, I preferred the online marketing initiatives because we could see what the impact was of hiring me and working with me. We could see the money, we could see the clients, we could see all of those kinds of things. So there's lots of different things within online and digital marketing that you can offer as services that can really help you become in demand. They are in demand services, and they can help you be the person that your clients really rely on. Launch management is also a really good digital service to provide. And launching can mean anything. It can mean a program, a group, a book, a podcast, anything like that, that takes a lot of work and has a lot of steps. Keeping those balls in the air is something that is really, really valuable to our clients. And being able to do those things on a regular basis, not everybody launches something every single month, but if you have a large base of clients or a decent base of clients, you can keep yourself busy all the time. For me, I always like the thrill of that. I did telesummits and launches, and we did book launches, and there wasn't really a lot of podcasts then, but we did a lot of speaking and virtual events, and I always liked that. It broke things up from just doing newsletters all the time and event follow up and that type of thing. It was really exciting and interesting for me. I was able to learn a lot of things and be able to show my clients what I had learned, right? I could take training to move in the direction that they needed me to, and I could use it all the time. It was really great. It is a great online service, launch management. I'm not sure what a lot of people call it. That's one of the things that I call it. The third service that is really in demand as VAs, and I don't need to tell you this because this is what everybody thinks is the only thing VAs need to do, is social media. It's obviously digital as well, but it's in a category of its own because it really is so vast. There are so many things that you can offer inside your social media services. You can create content, you can post content, you can schedule things, you can do reporting, you can do community management. There are obviously all kinds of different platforms that we can be offering our clients. We can do content repurposing, we can do tons and tons of things. And really, all of those services and all of the platforms really are in demand. Why? Because it's a time consuming process, right? Especially if our clients don't want to be present everywhere, but they want to be present everywhere. They don't want to physically be doing it themselves. A lot of them even, community management is one of the most emerging services that I've seen in social media, where the people who are running the groups aren't even running the groups anymore. They have people who are doing that. And so that's a very interesting concept to me. I have thoughts on that, but we won't share those today. But they do take special skills, right? Social media is time consuming no matter who you are. And it takes special skills in some cases. You need to know how to work with the different systems and the different platforms and what kinds of things people like to see and all that kind of thing. But it's a big deal. And it is necessary for many businesses to do work on social media in order to keep their pipeline of potential clients full, just like we have to. And also to communicate with their clients that they're working with or want to work with, as I say, in the communities. So social media really has become this huge animal, and there are lots and lots of things that we can do with it, but we don't need to be doing everything. And sometimes that expertise comes in and that interpretation comes in to say, we need to do this on this platform and we need to not do this on this platform, and be able to differentiate between the two. And a lot of times our clients will rely on us to tell them where to be and tell them what to post or tell them what kind of content to create, or not if they're not creating it, if you're actually creating it for them, to what kind of content to approve. So many people are already on social media. I know I'm on it all day long. A lot of people are using it all day long. So it really is a great place to be able to find clients. And like I say, when you found the clients, that's where your community is generally set up. And it doesn't mean necessarily a Facebook group, but there are generally online groups where your community is hanging out. And there's lots of stuff that needs to be done inside of those areas as well. Paid ads obviously are another specialty. I remember taking social media right out of my service offerings way back when I was working with all of my 6 and 7 figure business coaches and supporting them as their VA. Because it was changing too frequently. And honestly, we really only had Facebook then, and kind of LinkedIn and Twitter, I think, were the really big ones. And yes, I'm aging myself. I love to do that with you guys. But I didn't want to specialize in it. I didn't want to keep on learning about what to do. And my clients were very reliant on me. They listened to me and they followed me and they followed what I was telling them about the things that we were doing. And I found many of my clients asking me for things like Facebook ads and that type of thing that I had absolutely no expertise in. And so I really made a point of just saying, I don't do social media. And we would hire out other people on the team to do that part of it. And it was an excellent decision for me. It was totally no problem. I feel now I could handle something like a community manager role if I were still providing the customer service role that I used to fill for a lot of my clients. But I still still wouldn't be doing the paid ads and that kind of thing. That's a little bit more specific. Now, I've taken a lot of Facebook ads training, and it really isn't that complicated whenever you get into it, especially if you have an excellent trainer like I did. Still not something that I really want to do, but definitely very in demand. I mean, paid advertising, not just, did they call it paid advertising? Yes, I think they do. But paid advertising anywhere, obviously takes some expertise because you have an outlay of money in order to do it. So it is really important that you get it right. The fourth service that I consider to be in demand is blog and website service. Now, I sort of kicked websites down, a couple of points ago, and I don't really mean to, because websites obviously are extremely important. I think they're very important because it is the content that you own online. And so as the VA, you want to be able to help the client get lots of traffic to the website, lots of sales, all those kinds of things, and not just be relying on social media to showcase what it is that they can do. Websites can do a lot of different things. There's many, many, many different functionalities and that type of thing. So it's important. Definitely still in demand. It is a huge time suck for people who think they can learn to do their own website. VAs are extremely guilty of this. I see people who they put themselves months and months and months behind of getting their business even just started because they don't want to pay somebody to put their website together. And there are lots of really, really reasonable solutions for putting your website together. You have to invest in getting something done properly. It can just be the simplest thing. I remember one of my clients used to do one-page websites. And actually, if you ever hear me talking about the team that I belong to and that I worked on for 4 years, and I learned so much, it was this woman who did one-page web design. And it was super easy for her because it was, that was within her talent, but she could put these things together for people, and it would be quick and it would not be terribly expensive because it didn't take a lot of her time. But then there they were live, and they were able to actually make their own changes to the website, which is really what you need, right? That's the only thing you need, is to learn how to make the changes that you want to your website. But I highly recommend getting somebody to actually do your website properly and quickly. It's just so worth it. But as a service for VAs, if you are the VA that's providing that website service, offer levels of packages to people, different budgets, right? I think that that's always important as you're getting going and becoming that in-demand person. You could be an in-demand VA for website builds if you had a budget that your particular clients were not able to access from a lot of other people in their community. Blogging for me is another thing, and I put them together, and I know that they don't necessarily go together, but like I said to you, I'm kind of an anti-project person. I'm not the kind of person who wants to constantly be looking for clients to bring in, because I know that in 2 months we're going to be finished working together. And so constantly I like to make long-term relationships with people. So for me, if I were actually doing websites, I would do blog production as well as part of my services because of that ongoing work, right? And if you did websites and blogging, you would be so indispensable to your clients, because any changes that they would need on their website, they're not going to do themselves. They're going to ask you to do it because you're in there anyway, right? Blogging happens more frequently, usually weekly. But but trying to sell somebody a maintenance package to update their plugins and all that kind of stuff can be challenging, and you're trying to sort of bill out an hour or so every single month. So I would do it by offering blog publishing along with the maintenance package and being able to continue to work with those clients if you like them, obviously, but and continue to work with them after their site is done, so that you can add things that they need and still keep your pricing in the place that you want it. And definitely you're going to build that trust. And I will tell you, you will also build the referrals, because repeat business and building up that trust with clients is the thing that makes them want to recommend you to their friends and their colleagues. Funnels and lead magnets can also fall under website development. Setting people's opt-ins up, or registration pages, or landing pages, if that's what you want to call them, can also be part of tech support, which is our final in-demand service. So I'm just going to talk about it there. Tech support is the final in-demand service that I want to talk about in this episode. Again, it takes a certain level of skill or training, but it also has a variety of services that you can offer your clients, which makes it more appealing as a VA, right? What part of tech do I consider tech, or what part of services do I consider tech? Landing pages, opt-ins, registration pages, and sales pages, like I just talked about, definitely. But other tech includes things like CRMs. Those are the customer relationship management systems that house all of the data about all of the people that we are connecting with and working with. Events, all of the new online meeting softwares. There's still lots of online training, webinars and trainings and that type of thing. There's probably even more services out there now. Not everything is being done on Zoom anymore, but there are still lots of that thing. There's still lots of that type of thing going on. Course creation is enormous, of course. Membership sites are becoming even more popular than they were 10 years ago, when that's all there was you either had a website or you had a membership site. Now that's becoming really popular again, monthly memberships and subscriptions and that kind of thing. E-commerce sites, Shopify is huge, of course. There are lots of different platforms like that you can develop expertise in and be able to offer services where people can sell products. Podcasts, obviously, this is probably the most up and coming service that is great for a VA to offer, and not terribly challenging to do. But again, one of those things that's really detaily. There's lots of different things, lots of different components to a podcast, and all of the things that you need to do to promote it properly. So it's definitely an area of demand and a little bit of specialization as well. All of these things are really in demand, and some clients even use all of them, believe it or not, all 5 of these things, depending on which industry you've decided to target. I think looking over this list, I would say that business coaches, that's who I used to support, they definitely use all 5 of these at random times in their business or on ongoing services. And so that's why I think that they're really, really important. What does providing an in-demand service do for you, the VA? Well, you can earn more money. You can work with higher level clients. You can only do what you want. You can invest in training that's useful for your growth because you can actually use it right away for multiple clients, not just for one, and lots more. There are many, many services that bridge more than one of these categories. I hope I've given you some tips on what you can focus on or change in your business to start bumping up your rates and finding those better clients. Clients who will appreciate you and value you and rave about you to their colleagues, who will also want to work with you. That's what happened with me. All of their colleagues really wanted to work with me because they spoke so highly of me. Be in demand with in-demand service offerings. That's all I've got for you this time. If you are interested in having a conversation about how you can become an in-demand VA, definitely reach out and let me know, Tracy at yourvamentor.com. I would love to connect with you and talk about your skills and the possibilities for you. That's all I've got for this week. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.